What's up, guys? BC here from LTC. Coming at you guys with the updated Masked SAIYAN. I did one a long time ago. I think over a year ago was the last time I did a deck profile with this guy. But this is actually the guy that I started the game off with, and he's been my favorite ever since I started playing with him. I'm so glad that they finally came out with some more support for him. And yeah, just some overall just really solid extra cards to support him. So if you don't know what he does, he's a Masked SAIYAN. It's actually Bardock, but once per turn you can place the top 3 cards of your deck in your drop area. If there is a black card among those cards, he gains critical. If there's any other color, he gains 5,000. So if you were to send the top 3 and get both a black card and a card of any other color, he becomes 15k with crit for the duration of the turn. And then since he's an older leader, whenever he awakens, you draw 2. And his awakened side is just he retains the effect of the first of the unawakened side. It's just that now whenever you swing, he draws a card. So yeah, same thing, just whenever he swings, draw a card. So let's get into it. We'll start off with the black card, since you know that's the whole point of the deck. Do 4, a crack in space-time. Easily MVP of the deck. It for 1 energy, you make your leader unawakened, possibly 30k crit on turn, double strike crit on turn 1. Activate battle. So if the attack goes through, so the best part is you don't even have to waste this card. You wait for you to see if your opponent's going to counter, and then you can play the card. So, and I mean, with 1 energy, you put the unawakened side possibly at 30. The awakened side, you can possibly put them at 40, because whenever he's unawakened, you can send the top 3, gain a 5k bonus, put him at 15, awaken, so that transfers and automatically puts him at 20, and then you do it again, and if you hit another non-black card, then boom, you get another 5k bonus. So that automatically puts him at 25, and then you tap 1 and it gives him 15 with double strike. So yeah. Yeah, so this card just for 1 energy gives him 15k double strike. Moving on, super combos. Of course, you're gonna be running the Supreme Kai of Time World Protector, just because it's live on turn 2. You just have to have 5 cards in your warp. Next, you run 4 Revived Ravager Vegeta. You bring Overwhelm 3. Otto. He comes automatically with crit as a default, and his auto is whenever you play him with Overwhelm, you can send up to 3 cards from the top of your deck to the drop area. I usually like to send 1 because my leader is going to send 3, so that way whenever I play him, I set up for other cards. Or if I know that I'm going to go big on the next turn, then I will send the 3, and then on the next turn, send 3 with the leader, and then all I have to do is just combo 1, and that's pretty much all the cards you're going to need in there. But yeah, 15k crit. Super combo, it becomes 25k crit. There's other obvious reasons why you would run this card for cards that are going to show up later in this profile. 4 Migra. 4 Mirror of the Darkness. He is so good because he comes out 20k crit, and then, I mean, you combo a Chiapas or a Supreme Kai, and now he's 30k double strike crit for tapping 1 energy. He's Overwhelm 4. Great card. Next, I run 4 single cards. The first one is Desperate Onslaught Bardock, and that's actually a recent addition. and it's because he gets through blockers, and your opponent can't combo with they can't combo with battle cards on the field. So, especially in the upcoming sets, I think this card is going to be really good. I might bump it up to 2. But yeah, he's just an overwhelm 5 critical, and then whenever he attacks during the turn you played it with overwhelm, your opponent may not combo with battle cards in their battle area or activate blocker for the duration of the battle. So he swings in, and he can't be blocked, and your opponent has to waste their hand to get over him, and he's 20k. So I mean, with a Champa, double strike. Next, Scientist Fu, hand advantage. I mean, I like using him early game. Maybe just second turn, place down Fu, swing him with a double strike crit. Get +2 on your hand size. Next one is Migra, Creator Absorb. Again, another great card. You tap 1, overwhelm 4, and he gains 5k for every card in your warp whenever you swing. I only run 1 because I like to use it as like a KO push, getting it later on into the game, or if I get maybe by turn 4, then I'll use it. But other than that, yeah, you combo it with like Champa, and as long as they don't counter you, you're pretty much fine. It's pretty much game. And then next, of the last single that I run is Fu the Dark Banister. I only run 1 because obviously it's a late game card, and you gotta tap 4 for it. But he has triple attack, not triple strike, triple attack. So he attacks 3 times, 25k, and whenever your opponent activates anything, activates a skill, they have to banish 1 card from their hand. They gotta warp it. So you swing. Oh, you're gonna activate a counter. Okay, warp a card. All right, so restand. Swing. Okay, you're gonna use a super combo. Warp a card. All right, swing. Okay, now you don't want to do anything. Yeah, that's pretty much how he's meant to be used, at least in this deck. That's it for the black cards. I'm gonna go on to the non-black cards, starting with blue. I run 3 Burnish Bonds Borgos, just because it helps with any deck that runs Senzu Bean. There's a lot of decks that run Senzu Bean now, and this will help stop them. And I mean, I have room, so might as well. I see a lot of people. Some people run them in there as a side. Some people might main deck them, but I like main decking them in this deck because there's room for it, and you don't need much other than supporting your leader. So so for anybody that doesn't know what it does, whenever you play it, you draw a card, tap 1 blue, play it, draw a card, and then once per turn, during your opponent's turn, if they switch their energy to active mode using a non-awakened skill, you get to choose 1 and send it to the drop area. So they tap 1 for Senzu Bean, they untap 2, and you get to send 2, or you get to send 1. And yeah, so that's what that's used for. Next, I run 4 Whiz, which I actually might cut it down. Just because, yeah, you need at least a little bit of defense, but I really don't think that you need 4. I only run 4 just because I like to play a little bit on the safe side. But with this deck, with what I've seen that it can do, I might take 1 or 2 out just to add a little bit more aggro. But I mean, if not, I'll just keep it on the side. But yeah, so you just negate the attack, untap an energy. Next is for Senzu Bean. I know I just talked about Senzu Bean, but the best part is that this deck, if you get a Senzu Bean, you can either charge it or you can hold on to it. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, so I mean, it's pretty much a staple in any blue deck. And then I run 1 Encouraging Presence Menaka. It's just there to help support my leader, and I get to draw a card. So it gives my leader double strike, and the leader gives himself crit, and then I get to draw a card. So it's just for a little bit of hand advantage, because before you awaken, this deck gets real thin on the hand, especially if your opponent doesn't want to attack you. That's it for the blues. I'm going to move on to the yellows. So I run 4 Fearless Assault Crillon, just because he's like the GT Trunks. You swing with him, pull a life, and he gains 10k in crit. And you combo it with Chiapas or the Kai, and it makes him 25k double strike crit, which is pretty much what you would be getting on the unawakened side of your leader. So yeah, it's also to help self-awaken. I run 2 Godly Destruction Whiz, just because it's the same as Borgos or Borgeros, however you pronounce his name. Same thing as him, just yellow. I needed some yellow space, so that's what I picked. And then after that, we have 3 Battering Lasers. I know this card is going to be getting hit pretty soon, so I will do an update on as to what I will be filling that in with. But as of right now, it's Battering Laser, and this card comes in so clutch, because if my opponent has 2 life and I have a mirror in my hand, it's pretty much game. So if I have a Battering and a mirror in my hand with a yellow energy, it's pretty much game. I run 3 because the leader mills, and I at least want to see 1. Next, I run 2 Crusher Ball, purely defense, just to make sure that I get to that turn 4. Because turn 3, turn 4 is whenever you really want to push hard. And then I run 1 Flying Nimbus, and this card is strictly just to make sure you have your last turn. Use Flying Nimbus, you ditch your Crusher Ball, and then you save yourself that turn that you know you're going to be able to push on. So yeah, so the Crusher Balls and the Flying Nimbus is to make sure you get that turn. Actually it worked on a Victory Strike, because where's it at? The Crusher Ball went off. I Crusher Balled the Victory Strike, and that saved me the turn that I needed to push for game. So yeah, that's, like I said, those cards are just there to make sure you can get your last turn that you want. And then I run 4 of the Kais, the Spring Kais. I mean, it's literally either 4 of the Supreme Kais or 4 of the Chiapas, but in this deck you're always going to make it double strike, so I tell my opponents ahead of time it's always going to be double strike. And so yeah, I mean, it gives, and then this is what you use to combo for your Vegeta and your Migra. And then finally I run 2 Chiapas, just to have 6 cards that can give my battle cards double strike. And then also it works on my leader as well. So yeah, so all around I think I have 11 cards to support my leader with double strike. So, and then 6 cards to support my battle cards. Next I have the side deck, which is not completely finished due to the new ban list coming out. So whenever that comes out, I might readjust it. But anyways, I run, this is for the Broly matchup, for the Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan, because Otto is not a keyword, is a non-keyword. So if they if they bring out like Broly with using a non-keyword skill, which like Otto, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places them in a drop area. So whenever they're level 1 Broly, if I have him out, if their level 1 Broly brings out the level 4 Broly, which is 15k with the Otto, then they have to ditch 2 cards. Next I run 1 Toki Toki Time Creator, and that's because he searches out for me my Denday, and I run the Denday because I noticed that a lot of people are starting to use objection again. Like for U7 Victory Strike Frieza or Victory Strike U7 Frieza and the Gogeta ramp they're starting to throw in, and then also I've even seen some Zamasu's lately, and they've been running objection, so I've been running this to kind of like keep them in check, especially because in this deck you really only need you can on turn 3 you can sacrifice 2 energies, no problem. And then it also searches out my Commie. It's pretty standard for any type of swarm, especially because people might try and swarm you to try and knock you out early. But the thing is that people don't realize is that the more cards you put in this deck's hand, the better off they are. So whenever they awaken, now they have all these cards in their hand and they can do pretty much everything with just the 2 energies. So that's what a lot of people don't get. That's what a lot of the mistakes were against. I run 2 Crisis Crushers. And I really only do it against decks that bring out like level 1s and level 2s, just because it slows them down pretty fast. 1 Desperate Onslaught Bardock, just for the extra one. 2 Masked SAIYAN, the Mysterious Warrior, because he clears fields. Same thing with the Dimensional Banister Fu, just that he gets rid of everything else. I run 1 Temporal Darkness to Migra. I do this because he's a 30k body, so if they only have 1 left, and as soon as I play him, he stays out there. So, and he's a 30k body, so whenever I play him, I get to get rid of one of my opponents, and then I get to grab one of my level 4s or lower, which is like a Mira or a Vegeta or something that I might need, and just like for that extra little push, and then it brings it out, and then I can swing in with all 3 of them. And then of course I run 1 additional Flying Nimbus just in case. Just for like a little extra defense. But yeah, that's been the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave comments, let me know what you think. If you end up taking it to a local tournament before the next ban list, let me know how you do. And yeah, have a good day.